At the end of the topic, you will be able to define agriculture, list down the agricultural practices, discuss agricultural operations. Agricultural operations and implements. The branch of science which deals with methods of food production is known as agriculture. To get a better yield from the field, a farmer has to plan and organize a number of activities even before raising a crop. The farmer decides the suitable crops to grow in a particular season. Activities like ploughing the field, sowing the seed, transplantation, removal of weeds and application of fertilizers are to be carried out by the farmer at the appropriate time. They are called agricultural operations. Sometimes these operations are carried out with specifically designed implements. In this unit, you will be detailed on various agricultural operations and the implements used specifically for agricultural activities. Ploughing. Ploughing is the first and foremost agricultural operation carried out at the beginning of the season by the farmer. Plough is a popular implement in agriculture. It is T-shaped. One arm penetrates the soil with its wedge-shaped iron point. Plough makes the V-shaped furrow in the soil. The depth of the furrows can be altered depending on the soil type and other field condition. Nowadays, this implement is modified and fixed in the tractors that are used for ploughing. They cut 3 to 5 furrows at a time. Using such implements add to the economy. Ploughing has many advantages. Here are a few. After ploughing, the soil becomes porous and soft. Water applied to such soils easily enters the soil and spreads in all the directions. It helps the soil to retain water which will be later taken up by the plants. Roots can easily enter the soil and grow by spreading in all directions. Air enters the soil and which is used by the roots for respiration process. Leveling. The land looks uneven when soil puddles are present. This appearance is not suitable for sowing the seed and raising the seedling. Leveling can be done manually or with leveling instrument. Soil puddles can be evened by leveling method. Leveling has other advantages too. Water, salts and other nutrients will be evenly distributed throughout the field. Leveling helps in economic and efficient use of water. The leveling implement consists of a flat blade with vertical handles and 2 rings in the front for yoking the bullocks with ropes. This is also used for making bunds from the loosened soil. Sowing of seeds. Sowing of seeds is mainly done by 2 methods. They are transplantation and broadcasting. Click on the boxes to know more. Transplantation. In this method, seeds are transferred to loosely woven bags and kept in water for 24 hours. Later, the bags are taken out of water and the excess water is drained off. Then they are kept warm by covering with hay. If the seeds are of paddy type, then the seed bed is prepared in the plots. The soil in the plot is made wet with enough water and seeds are sown in large numbers. At appropriate time, the plot is watered and the seedlings are carefully taken out of the plot and made into bundles. The bundles are taken to different plots for planting in regular rows. This is called transplantation. Transplanting is also done with tractors. Transplantation with these methods provides uniform spacing. It also reduces the quantity of seed used. Broadcasting. In broadcasting method, seeds are thrown at random. This method is generally applied for crops that are preferred for dry land cultivation. When they germinate, the field may have uneven distribution of seedlings. Farmers readjust the uneven distribution by removing seedlings from higher dense area to lower dense area. This even distribution ensures better yield. Modern implements like seed drills are used for broadcasting method. When modern implements are used, sowing of seeds as well as distribution of manure is carried out at the same time. Weeding. What are weeds? Weeds are unwanted plants that grow in the fields and compete with crop plants for water, nutrients, light, and space. What do the weeds do? They reduce the yield of the crop. Weeds give shelter for insects, pests, and microorganisms. How weeds spoil the crop plants. Weeds are capable of germinating and growing faster than crop plants. They flower and form seeds much earlier than the crop plants. They even pollute the surroundings with their pollen and seeds. They grow regularly year after year. Why weeding is necessary? It is desirable to remove the weeds from the field so that the crop gives the maximum yield. Removal of weeds at regular intervals of time is called weeding. Prevention and control of weeds. Weed control methods vary from crop to crop and season to season. Let us discuss some of the ways to control the weeds. Click on the images to know more. Physical method. Hand pulling, hoeing, tilling, mowing, and burning are some of the ways for physical methods of weed control. Chemical method. Chemicals which are used for eradicating weeds are called herbicide and weedicide. These chemicals either kill the weeds or inhibit their growth. One such example is 2,4-dichlorophenoxyacetic acid. Crop rotation method. Weeds can also be controlled by the crop rotation method. In this method, the same crop is not raised in the same field in successive seasons. Conditions required for the growth of every crop are different. This will discourage the growth of the weeds. Changing farm practices alter the conditions for weeds to compete with regular crops. Biological method. In the biological method of weed control, natural enemies of the weed plant like insects are used for destroying the weed. These biological organisms are harmless to the regular crop plant. Importance of water and irrigation. Water is an important factor for the growth and productivity of the crops. Proper relationship between soil, crop, efficient and economic use of water is very essential. Well-planned irrigation boosts up the crop yield. Surface irrigation, furrow irrigation, sprinkler irrigation are some of the types of irrigation. Let us discuss them one by one. Click on the boxes to know more. In the surface irrigation, water is applied on the soil surface. In this method, water flows on the surface of the entire field. In furrow irrigation system, the plants will be on at an elevated ridge and there will be a furrow in between two adjacent rows of plants. In sprinkler irrigation system, water is sprayed over the surface of the field. This system has advantage as water can be applied at a controlled rate and is distributed uniformly all over the field. Manuring. Another important agricultural practice is manuring. Roots absorb nutrients from the soil. When the nutrients are deficient than the required amount and when the specific nutrients are not available, then they need to be supplied. Application of manure at an appropriate time boosts up the growth and productivity of the plant. Chemical fertilizers are applied to increase the supply of essential nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Ammonium sulfate, potassium sulfate, and urea are applied before sowing. To get the maximum output, the crop should be irrigated immediately after the application of fertilizers. The organic manure is obtained by the decomposition of plants. The farm and garden manure consists of a mixture of cattle dung, remnants of straw, and other plant materials. This manure is applied to the soil a few weeks before sowing the seed. When the plant decomposes within the soil by the activity of soil microorganisms, it supplies organic matter. This is called green manure. Examples for such plants are sun hemp, pulses, and sesbania plant.
The process of cutting and gathering a matured crop is known as harvesting. In small farms, crops are usually cut down using handheld tools called sickle. In big farms, a large vehicle called harvester combine is used. Grains are separated from the stalks by the process of threshing. This is carried out by beating the cut stalks against hard floor or a machine called mechanical thresher. The chaff, pieces of straw and husk after threshing, is separated from the whole grain by winnowing. Grains are kept safe from moisture, insects, and microorganisms. If they are not kept in a proper manner, they will get spoilt and cannot be consumed. Farmers store grains in jute bags and metallic bins. In a large scale, the grains are stored in godowns, silos, very tall cement tanks, and granaries. It is important that agricultural product fetches a remunerative price. Warehousing and marketing facilities are essential to ensure this strategy. Government has taken more steps to assist marketing of agricultural product and to promote the status of small farmers. Tamil Nadu government has established Ulavar Sandai to satisfy the need of consumer and the small-scale village farmers. Regulated markets eliminate unhealthy marketing practices and exploitation of the products by middlemen. The government provides loan at very low rate of interest to the farmers for cultivation. In crop rotation method, different crops are grown alternately to avoid depletion of minerals in the soil and poor yield. The practice of growing a cereal crop and the pulse crop alternately in the same field in successive seasons is called as crop rotation. Leguminous plants have root nodules associated with symbiotic bacteria which fix atmospheric nitrogen. For example, wheat and paddy plants need nitrogen to make protein. They can't use nitrogen directly from the air. Absorb more nitrogen from soil. This lost nitrogen can be replaced naturally by leguminous plants which have symbiotic bacteria in their root nodules. Example, pea, soya, bean are cultivated after wheat or paddy.
In this topic, you have learned ploughing, sowing, irrigation, weeding, and manuring are different agricultural operations. Leveling the soil will help in raising the seedlings uniformly and the distribution of water and nutrients evenly. Seed sowing is done by broadcasting or transplantation method. Weeds can be controlled manually, mechanically, and by chemical methods. Rotation of crops helps to control the weeds and plant diseases. Surface irrigation, furrow irrigation, and sprinkler type of irrigation are different types of irrigation. Manures applied at the proper time improve growth and crop productivity.
Winnowing is the process of removal of the chaff from the whole grain after threshing. Regulated markets eliminate unhealthy marketing practices and exploitation of products by middlemen. Crop rotation is the practice of growing a cereal crop and the pulse crop alternately in the same field in successive seasons.
At the end of this topic, you will be able to explain what biotechnology is, correlate various branches of science linked with biotechnology, list out the branches of biotechnology, state the aims of biotechnology and its research activities in the field of agriculture, outline the helps rendered by biotechnology in food processing industry, predict the problems involved in genetic engineering. Biotechnology is the applied biology having combination of microbiology, biochemistry, and genetics. Biotechnology makes use of living organisms and bioprocesses in engineering, technology, medicine, and other fields requiring bioproducts. Biotechnology has revolutionized the research activities in agriculture. There are 7 different techniques used in plant improvement, namely selection, hybridization, polyploid breeding, mutation breeding, protoplast fusion, tissue culture, and genetic engineering. The aim of agricultural biotechnology is producing plants resistant to diseases and insects and herbicides, producing plants with high photosynthetic efficiency, creating transgenic plants with nitrogen fixing capacity, increase the size of storage roots, seeds, fruits, and vegetables in order to fulfill the need of people, enhancing PUFA, polyunsaturated fatty acid, rich oil seeds soya for heart patients, cultivating the potatoes with vaccines to improve the starch and vitamin A, producing genetically modified GM seeds for high proteins biofertilizers to avoid mutation and biofuels to prevent pollution. Food processing industry is the oldest and largest industry using biotechnological processes like fermentation, production of beverages, etc. Biotechnology in food processing is used to improve existing processes such as production of high-quality additives and processing aids. Improving the quality of microorganisms involved in various steps of food processing in order to improve control and safety of the process and also yield quality products. There are some biotechnological applications in food processing as follows: modify or manipulate and transfer the gene, developing recombinant vaccines, vitamins, and proteins, improving the quality, safety, and consistency of fermented foods, improving of microorganisms in order to improve the quality of processed products, improving the processing properties of food such as development of genetically modified flavor sour tomato variety to reduce its ripening rate and increase the shelf life. Though there are many benefits in biotechnology, there lay ethical, social, and legal implications which are of high concern and debatable. It is anticipated that genetic manipulation may accidentally release new pathogens or microbes may turned to be fatal are called as genetic monsters. In this topic you have learned biotechnology is the applied biology and makes use of living organisms and bioprocesses in engineering, technology, medicine, and agriculture. There are 7 different techniques used in plant improvement, namely selection, hybridization, polyploid breeding, mutation breeding, protoplast fusion, tissue culture, and genetic engineering, etc. Genetic engineering offers new hopes to the farmers by producing disease or insects or herbicide resistant plants, introducing photosynthetically efficient leaves, creating transgenic plants, GM foods, increasing the size of storage roots, seeds, etc., enhancing PUFA rich oil seeds, biodiesel, biofuel, and cultivating the potatoes with vaccines and flav-sav tomatoes. In food processing industry, it is used to manipulate and transfer the gene, improve the production of high-quality additives and processing aids, improve the quality of microorganisms, quality, safety, and consistency of fermented foods, and develop recombinant vaccines, vitamins, and proteins. Though there are many benefits in biotechnology, ethical, social, and legal implications are highly concerned as it may release genetic monsters in the future.